Didn't we all grow up thinking that we were going to be somebody special? But as we grow up, life gets busy. We go to school, we get jobs, we have kids, and we get into routines, don't we? And we go from dreaming of a life of significance to living a life of struggle.
See, I wasn't just broke, I was broken. And for the next 6 years, I fell into a rut. And slowly but surely, I forgot how to dream.
Have you ever felt that disconnect between the life you're currently living and the greatness that you know is inside of you, like this chasm between your potential and your current situation? But what if greatness is actually something within you that's waiting to be uncovered?
We are all becoming something with every breath we take, every thought we think, every decision we make. In this very moment, you are becoming something different than you were in the moment before. The question we should all ask is, am I happy with what I'm becoming?
I learned a long time ago that you can't go back and have a brand new start, but you can start now and have a brand new end.
I don't know what you're watching. I don't know who's watching. I don't know why you're watching, but what if this is your second shot at life? What if this is it?
Stepping into the culture here at Symmetry that was created by Brendan Ellison, Casey Watkins, and Brian Pope gave me a precious thing, opportunity. The opportunity to decide who I was becoming and not to just be dragged by the constantly flowing river of life.
If you're sitting out there and you're stuck, if you're sitting out there and you're desperate for a change, me too. Me too. I was too. But I'm telling you, there's hope. See, you're part of a company that doesn't care about the mess you show up with. No. See, here, you get rewarded for the heart you play with.
Maybe the problem with my life was not that I was unlovable, it's not that I wasn't good enough, it's that I quit everything. And what if I didn't quit? Where would I be?
You've been spending so much time looking for an answer, praying for an answer, hoping for an answer, waiting for an answer, and I'm telling you today, you are an answer.
I think most people in America are not happy with the picture they painted. But see, you come to Symmetry. Symmetry has lots of easels. They have lots of canvases. They'll give you an easel, they'll give you a canvas, they have an unbelievable amount of paint, all different colors, and you have access to all of that, where you can paint you a new picture to live in. See, I believe that Symmetry is a company of destiny. I believe there's something special about this company.
I've said it before, but I hope you all listen to me, that it's important to design your life that will allow you to dream like you'll live forever, but being so intentional that every day could be your last. Turn those some days into some today.
Because 10 years from now, I want you to look back at this moment on this day and know that it was the day you decided to be great.
If you're ready to get in the cockpit, pull back that throttle, and fly, we can take this thing to a whole new level.
Never gets old. And man, I was thinking about Jimmy a lot this week. I got to see on Facebook, did you catch this, Spivey, the bar rescue show with Johnny's Bar? So they were featured, and just unbelievable tribute to Jimmy and his legacy, and man, powerful. If you haven't caught it, did you get a chance to see that yet?
I haven't been able to see it, but I'll tell you that I had the privilege of going down to the SFG free boot camp just a couple weeks ago. Ian Graham was there, and many of his team members rocked the stage, but we had an opportunity to go down to Jimmy's restaurant to go see his brother, and took about 150, 200 agents down there to enjoy the place. It was definitely special.
Nice. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. We love to honor and we love to celebrate. So we're going to get to do that together, Spivey. It's you and I up to deck on these leaderboards while our founders are leveling up their game. They're at an InsurTech conference this week, and gosh, can't imagine what's going to come out of that. But we're going to run through here, and I'll take the first one, Spive, and you got the second one. Does that sound good? I'm going to do top 10 new writers.
You can
Coming
just
in.
run with it, buddy. I'll just say real quick before we do
Yep.
that I did get a message from Brandon and Casey just a little bit ago. They're super fired up at the InsurTech conference, as you mentioned, B-Dubs, and the excitement around the company, guys, is an all-time high. The amount of individuals that are out there that have heard about Quility and where we're going as a company are looking to partner, trying to find ways to see if they can't plow a future together with where we're heading. And so I just wanted to share that message. Brandon and Casey send their love. Definitely are fired up more than ever. It was pretty funny. I saw them in a meeting room in downtown New York in a sky rise overlooking the Hudson River. And of course, there's our two founders with their shirts untucked. Everybody else in the room is in a 5-piece suit. And, those two guys are just absolutely staying within the character of who they are. And just couldn't be more honored to be in a company with so many other leaders that are like-minded. So did want to share that quick update with you, buddy. And
Yeah.
I'll hush up and let you run with the leaderboards.
You feel free to interrupt at any point, but here we go. Top 10 new writers. Congratulations to all of you. But coming in at number 3, Cheyenne Hannon. Number 2, we got, if my computer wants to work here. Whoops, going back. Number 2, Jill Kenyon. Number 1, Jennifer Ragland, coming in at 7306. Congratulations to all of you. Top 10 producers, John Perez, Jen Swigert, and Andre Nero, 47K week. Top 10 producers, Jen Swigert, Andre Nero, for the month. Sorry, this is week to date. App count. Sorry, this is app count. So we got Andre Nero, Francisco Capistrano, and John Perez with 19. Top 5 disability income producers, Reed Hills, Adam Patterson, and number 1, Salvatore Capobianco. Top 5 IUL producers, Jose Maldonado, John Perez, and Ward Brooks, coming in at the top spot at 23,702. All right, we got top 5 annuity producers, Lori Stye. I mean, you know, when you're starting at 294 at the bottom and then 500 at number 3, you're off to a good start. We got Lori Stye, we got Mike Leidecker, and 1.3 for Jen Swigert. Boom. That's a week. Did I get it right, Spivey? Swigert or Swigert? What do you think? You might
Swigert. Oh, I know Jen well. She is an absolute superstar, formerly known as a Assura agent that has been part of the PCS program, and she is doing phenomenal work.
Swigert?
Excellent.
Apologies, Jen. I will
a little bit of a tip for you there, B-Dub. She was one of the first 3 agents to ever get started in the QMS/PCS program. She is one of the integral founders of that merger when we combined with Assura. So much love to Jen.
Absolutely. Top 5 debt-free life producers, Paul Favors, Ursuline Cardi, and Victoria Baukel at 20,000 APV for the week. Total recruits, Larry Grossman, Rob Puckett, and Chris Cook. And for the directs, Jacob Pogue at a whopping, he is definitely not Jacob Poore. He is Jacob Pogue at 64. Amazing. Chris Cook, 45. Jiminy Crickets. And John Ziller coming in at 19. Outstanding work going on in recruiting, and the sky's the limit for opportunity. Licensed recruits, Marty, the Agency of Valor, Mike Casey, good to see you, and Edward Pritchett. Both Marty and Mike are working with Tim O'Neill, who's going to be on in just a second. That's encouraging to see their names up on that leaderboard. Top direct license recruits, Jacob Pogue, Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell, and the Smith Agency. Amazing recruiting activity happening. New writers. Now we're going to need a name change for next week because Ashley Tarr is now Ashley Harris. Ashley and Tyler got married last week, so we gotta coach up them founders on this Tarler type thing, and we're merged into.
Did you see the pictures of this wedding?
That was insane, wasn't it?
Fairy tale, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable. Italy. Where was it again? What's that famous place it was in? I should know that.
It looks like about every movie you've ever seen. If you've seen a beautiful little chateau on the side of a hill overlooking a canyon and a river, it's amazing.
Yes, it is stunning. So congrats to them. I'm sure we'll be able to celebrate them more. Larry Grossman and Edward Pritchett, Jacob Pogue at 10, Ashley again, and Tyler at 7, and Sean Shannon at 5. SNA's seasoned new agents. Look at that list. 17 agency owners tied for 1. Ruth Slingo at 2. Congrats. Sarah Reinecke at 2. Jamie Susie, boom. Man, Jamie and Sarah, we can't say enough about that dynamic duo these days, right, Spivey?
And I just ran into Sarah in the lobby as well and got to give her a hug, and going to get to hear her speak from stage here in Dallas in just a little bit. So fired up. Those two are on fire.
They are. Ashley and Tyler as well. And then on the directs, we got George and Janet, Ashley and Tyler, Sean Shannon, Scott Summers, and Jacob Pogue. Lots of SNAs. Now, here's our list of seasoned new agents. And all right, Spivey, I got to ask you, man, take the baton from me. Help me, Spivey. Help me, Spivey. I'm going to let you run down the
seasoned new agents. That's 6 apps in 6 weeks, guys. It shows an overwhelming percentage. The odds are in your favor to have a very successful first year in the business with Symmetry Financial. So congratulations to all these individuals. Menjiver, Prettle, McIntyre, Hernandez, McMillan, Tarter, Ellis, Akers, Alien, Dar, Gremlin, Coleman, Olson, Jones, Sackman, Kenyon, Abera, Brown, Salinas, Bizak, Hall, Banks, Urquhart, Jones, Cumston, Butcher, Haas, and Turner. Congratulations not only to the SNAs, but also, as you see in the parentheses, their mentors that have helped pave the path for them to have quick success out of the gate. So congratulations to you all.
Absolutely. And man, did I pick a winner to pass on to you. I love unique names. I mean, we like honoring people, and we love names, and I love lots of great names on that list. So good job, Stein.
I feel like I probably got 65% of them right.
Yeah, that was a tough one. All right, key leader coming in at the top, Brenda Cox. Congratulations. AOs, we got Carlton Lear, Jamie Susie, JPV on the AO front. I guess I should say Jennifer Stanley and Holly Jacobs on the key leader, since I included all 3 on the bottom. But congrats to all of you leading the charge this week. It's exciting to be in that spot. Testimony of your hard work and consistency and keeping the pedal to the ground. And JPV is probably keeping the pedal to the ground on his nice pickup truck that he got a few weeks back. I was comparing my Ram 1500 to his, whatever that thing is. It's like a supersized, super tricked out. I think it's a Ram, or maybe it's a Ford. I don't know. He'll be in the chat roasting me for that. But all right, top ADs, we got Larry Nan Griffin, and we got Dave Alvarado, just fast forwarding himself right up to there. I love seeing Dave in that seat. We got Josh Manzano, Trey Alderson Cloutier, and Eileen Bomber coming in at 177,654. MVPs for the week, Ziller, Gainey, Faulkner, the Batman, and Nate Offord. Once again, outstanding builders call. Many people saying they need to go back and take notes. George and Janet Matthews, advisory board members, and Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell. I think riding that spot for quite a long time now. Don't you think, Spivey, on that SVP leaderboard?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Been some serious results there. How about our EVPs, Stubbs, Shannon, and Miranda Martin? And we got Ryan and Michelle Miller, Jacob Pogue, and Lynn Watkins coming in at 727. That is a beast of a week. Congratulations, Lynn.
Congratulations to Lynn and team too. I hear they played in a charity golf tournament recently and finished first place for their flight. So I didn't know this, but apparently Lynn's got some golf skills.
Wow. Who knew?
That, or maybe his team was carried by Carlton Lear and John Ziller. I'm not sure. Maybe Ben Seepafor helped participate, but
okay, well,
regardless, they all came off the golf course talking about how special it was to spend some time with Lynn. So congratulations.
You've got to consider all the factors, and I think that suite of players explains it. Definitely a causation there. I know Nate was talking about, you play golf on the builders call. I'm glad it was a role play. I play foot golf and disc golf, but that's about it. I don't do the real golf thing. All right, shout out to the Smiths coming in at $3.99. Danny Young and Edward Pritchett over the mill for the week. Congratulations again. And then Brian Delaney, Kevin Purdy, and Marshall Whalen, managing partner at $9.89. Great to see everybody up there. Top directs, Edward Pritchett, George and Janet Matthews, Jacob Pogue. Base Shop, the Base Shop world, Ashley and Tyler. Gosh, even getting married, getting ready for a wedding is a lot of work. And there they are, top Base Shop for the week. And Josh Manzano and Paul Bine. Bean. Thought so. I got it right the first time. $79,000 Base Shop. Good week. All right. Now, this is always just incredible to see. here's our bonuses for April. So if you're new, you're just joining us and getting activated in this incredible organization called Symmetry Financial Group, and you're dreaming about what could be, and you're just thinking about possibilities, and you're picturing yourself 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road. These are bonuses. And I honestly, every time I get to lead this, I'm going to probably do it every time. I like looking at number 20 for starters, and just put yourself in the job that you were in prior to Symmetry and think about all of a sudden your boss just saying to you, hey, we're going to give you a bonus this month of $1,000, of $1,391, of $1,068. Like, don't overlook that, right? What a gift that is. I mean, that pays a mortgage, that pays some all car payments, whatever it is, right? That's incredible. But gosh, looking at the top numbers here, Marshall coming in at 153, Edward 118. What do you think, Spivey? Any thoughts on our bonuses? Just, fruit of hard work, right? Hard work brings a profit. So just incredible that we get to have this kind of bonus figures up here. Any thoughts from you, Todd?
Just the type of industry that we're in. And for those of you that know my story, coming from pharmaceutical sales, known to be one of the most lucrative industries you can be a part of. And I always tell the story that I think one of my greatest bonus checks after finishing number one in the entire country for the quarter, for a total's work of 3 months, my best bonus check was somewhere close to $30,000. And when you look at these individuals that are making $30,000 or even more on a monthly basis, it's just absolutely mind-boggling about the potential, the way that you can change not only your financial future, but that of the future generations to come. So this is amazing stuff.
So good. Yeah, I was practice company #1 producer for multiple years, and I got a custom wine glass. That was kind. But anyway, we'll stop there before I get in trouble. All right. April 2022 bonuses, total payouts for April, $1,079,746. You can see all these levels of bonuses. Absolutely incredible. All right. So shifting gears into, it's the hard work that brings a profit. It's the consistency of results that, or consistency of activity that leads to results, right? You cannot control outcomes. You can only control activities that lead to outcomes. And there are certain drivers of those activities. There's certain things that you need in place in order to really do the activity that you need to do. And so we're casting a vision again today for a new coaching cohort. It's not new in that we've offered these before. And Tim O'Neill, a Symmetry coach, and he's also a professional EOS implementer, which stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. Symmetry has benefited greatly from applying the Entrepreneurial Operating System tools. And Tim has great expertise there. And so he's been working with a number of our leaders. I mentioned before that we're on the leaderboard. And this particular coaching group that we put together for that agency owner and above level really allows you to put some key, drivers in place in your business, right? This cohort is answering the questions like, how do I create a strategic plan? How do I really build a scorecard? How do I understand how to help my other agency leaders create a strategic plan? How do I set rocks and live in a 90-day world? And so just for everybody's actionable next step, if you're an agency owner or above and you don't have good systems in place to manage your business, you feel like it's out of control and you want to register, and Tim's going to talk for a minute. Really glad he took the time to be here with us today. But you're going to want to go to HQ. You're going to go under the training, training section, and you'll see a section that says Symmetry Coaching. So you'll be able to register right there. We made it a one-stop shop for you to do that. So Tim, thank you so much for being here. Tim and I go back many years. Mad respect for Tim as a coach, consultant, and EOS implementer. And he's taken time to learn about our business and study our business. And I love also, our conversations. He's like, hey, I really want to understand this more. And he's digging in with our leaders. So great to have you. Tim, why don't you put a little, color on the color in the palette here of our coaching cohort and what it's about and what you're excited about for that.
Sure. Thanks, Brian. Really appreciate it. Great to be on the call with you all. For the last 10 years, I've been working with entrepreneurial business owners that are trying to build out their business. And a lot of folks, when they're starting their business, use grind and just a lot of hard work to kind of grind out their business. But as they start to get some real wins under their belt and they start to build, they are using hope and that grinding nature to go ahead and use that as their strategy. And I'm just saying hope is not a strategy. And so I was kind of reflecting before the call. There's a great movie, got a little drama that came out during the Oscars, but King Richard was about the father of Venus and Serena Williams. So Richard Williams, and he just, they grew up in Compton, and he had a vision and a strategy, and he stuck with it. But he documented the strategy, and he stuck with it. And I think Symmetry and Quility have an incredible strategy, and the team needs to stick with it. But I also think that folks need to start being better at planning and predicting on where they're going and how they're going to get there. And so I've been working with teams to go ahead and say, hey, listen, you have a plan. Let's go ahead and document it a little bit more and get better at planning and predicting on where you're going to go. And so we'll have, so some of the things that we're going to focus on are better planning and predicting, getting your team aligned around that, and then some strategic planning, really around quarterly and weekly strategic planning. And so at the end of our time together, you should have a strategic plan. You should have some tools and disciplines around team health and alignment, and then have the ability, so you don't need me all the time, to actually have a quarterly goal and some weekly goals.
Outstanding. Yeah. And as always, with any of our coaching cohorts, right, which are just a group of people banded together for a common purpose.
Yeah.
And when we have a coaching cohort, we're not offering random coaching cohorts that we pull out of the blue that we just think are a good idea. These are fully integrated into our thinking around our learning and development strategy. So we have our summit process, which involves 4 phases, and this one fits in that 3rd phase for agency owners and above. And we really feel like at that time, and even especially at the 110 level, 115 level, this should be considered like non-optional at that point for you to consider investing in, because you will get a return. There's no doubt people that have higher execution effectiveness, you're going to get more results, period. I mean, there's a high correlation there. And Tim, I love your approach, because you take the tools and you say generously, it's not that you just want to teach this group of people and it ends with them. The idea is that they would pass those on. So grateful for you. And I think also your past experience as well. And you happen to be in a full franchise organization, but you understand our 1099 sort of Symmetry world pretty well. So anything, just final thoughts, anything that stands out to you from, as you're working with a lot of our top agency builders and people on that 120 run, that that you've seen these insights, where you think these insights are most helpful for that particular group?
Yeah, I think once you kind of hit 110 and you're driving towards 115, if you talk to folks who have hit 120, the journey does not end at 120. Right. I think that, I think Nate referenced that. I think there's a lot more work that has to get done once you hit 120. And so building out systems and processes and really strong plans that can not only be worked on within your agency, but then you can train and develop within your other AOs is just really powerful.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Tim. And again, for everybody, you can go right into HQ under training, hit Symmetry Coaching and register right there. So we've got a exciting launch there. Thanks for being with us. Let's land this. So Spivey, you are out and about at the Dallas Spring Tour that's happening today. And we've got a few left. You and I will be in Orlando next week again at the June 1st Spring Tour. And we got Vegas and Indianapolis after that. So we're super excited for all the momentum that gets built in these events, and rallying the troops to be there. So look forward to shaking hands with those of you that'll be there next week. Any Spring Tour rah you want to give us, Spivey?
Man, just incredible time to associate. I mean, just the first hour and a half, I told you, B-Dubs. I got to talk to Ryan Miller. I got to talk to Roddy Jessup, Sean Shannon, Sarah Reineke. The list goes on and on. Jacob Pogue. Just not only the content that you're going to get at the event, the training, but the association to hear from some of the brightest minds that have already paved this path for others is just invaluable. So it's always about where you're investing your time and your energy. And I would say this is not going to be a waste of your time or energy, and a wonderful place to bring somebody that is considering the opportunity, or maybe they're not even considering this opportunity, but they're certainly looking for something different. This might just be the invite that they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think with all the digital evolution that we're doing, all of the exciting rollouts that we've got with Switchboard and other things coming down the pike, it is definitely the time to engage and learn where we're at, where we're heading, and how we can help you achieve your dreams. So excited about that. Dfl Boot Camp in Dallas, Texas, June 23rd, 24th. And that's exciting. You can register in HQ as well. hq.com/page/debt-free-life. And man, Resma does an over-the-top job. Anyone that's been there, you can comment. I mean, incredible trainer, incredibly gifted speaker, and gets it, loves walking with people to develop you. And I think we have come to the end of the road. Speaking of boys to men, we've come to the end of the road. But the beginning of a time of investment that Ian Graham and his team are going to make for us. So, man, Ian Graham, go ahead and unveil, and we are going to pass the baton and give you as much time. But I think you were on a builder's call recently too, where, you know, just the work that you've done to systemize your business, to track things, to live with that guardian pioneer, if you know our 5 voices, integrity and consistency. Couldn't be more happy for you, your results, your future. So I want to just kind of hand the baton. Spy, have you got anything for Graham before he launches into our time about cross-line collaboration?
Man, just grateful for his leadership and the amount of people that he's poured into outside of his own tugboat organization, and getting to see him run that meeting recently down in Tampa was incredible. Ian, just grateful for the invite, buddy, to be down there, to not only just to see your skill set from stage, but the most important thing that I got to witness was Ian in the back of the room, as so many members of his teams were being announced for promotions and contract raises, and seeing the excitement that he had the moment that he found out that he himself was getting promoted to that 115. And it wasn't anything about Ian. It was 100% about his team, and that's what it's all about. And he leads by example. So appreciate you very much, Ian.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Todd. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you guys, and very honored to have the floor this afternoon with you all. First things first, Ian Graham. I am direct to Sterling Gatling, part of the Skeen, Alderson Cloutier, Jimmy Spieldenner, Brian Delaney, Edward Pritchett hierarchy, and so blessed and fortunate to be just so blessed to be at this company, like all of you know, and very grateful to the founders, Brandon, Casey, and Brian, for what they've done to allow us all to seize this opportunity that they've laid out for us. So we got a special call lined up for you, ladies and gentlemen. Got 3 awesome individuals on the call with us today. Want to go through a couple intros first before we get into the power of cross-line collaboration and how you can utilize others in the business, other colleagues, to both level up. First individual, I'd like to share a few stats about. This lady started in April of last year. So she's only been here 12 months. She hit key leader in September of last year after just 4 or 5 months of being here. She just this past month in April wrapped up top producer and agency owner. So she's setting the right example from both tracks of the business. She's a model agent in our company with her positive attitude, her eagerness to help everyone out, regardless of whether or not they're on her team, and just her overall results-oriented nature, and is a huge culture setter in the Graham Agency. So Miss Marin Degafu, would love for you to unveil and unmute and introduce, just give a quick minute background for everyone who doesn't know you, your name and what you did prior to Symmetry, and why you came to Symmetry.
Hi, Ian. My name is Marin. I'm directed to Kip Kemboy in the Graham Alderson Cloutier. Spildener, Delaney, Pritchard hierarchy. I'm so grateful and blessed to be here. My background is actually in civil engineering and geophysicist. I came to Symmetry a year ago. Why Symmetry, if you say that? I've seen the corporate world and it was not something that I liked. The integrity was not there. So once I find out who Symmetry is, what they do, especially what their core values are, and the fact that you can impact lives at the same time, get freedom and your time back, that's what I actually joined Symmetry.
Absolutely love it. And we can't wait to dig in with you about how you've done this AO run in the past 12 months, Mary. Next individual would like to introduce, actually started just within weeks of Marin, just about 2 to 3 weeks prior to her. And so she started in March of last year. She worked part-time. She was full-time elsewhere at another company and worked part-time through December. She finally went full-time in January of this year, just 4 or 5 months ago. And in the past 4 months, January through April, she hit top producer, she hit key leader, she hit elite producer, she hit agency owner. You just saw her name at the very top of the producer bonus board for April, or earning over $4,700 in a bonus. She wrote on her own pen last month. She wrote 58,000 APV and submitted, she submitted over 58,000. She placed over 52,000 of the 58, which resulted in that large bonus. And her team, even though she just started building, her team wrote over 121,000 in this last month. So Mrs. Misty Cintron, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself and give everyone a quick background of what you did prior and why Symmetry Financial, and then we'll get into it here.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for having me too. First off, I'm direct to the one and only Ian Graham, part of the Cloutier Alderson. I can't say it as great as Dan Millett says it. The Spieldiner, Delaney, Pritchett Agency, and so blessed to be so. This is one of the best companies that I've found. This is my home. My background was, I was in sales, been in sales for years. I found Ian when I was frustrated with finding that, those JOBs have a ceiling. So I wanted something just extra, hence why I worked part-time. But then I quickly saw that, the culture here was definitely better than the culture that I was in, that I had been in for years. I had more advancement opportunity with the company I just started with than a company I'd been with for over half a decade. So, it's just a great atmosphere. I love all my colleagues. Ian's an amazing example to, if you want to go for it. If anybody who's ever been around him, his energy is just magnetic. Like, you can't help but to say, gosh, I need more. I got to do more when you're around him. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, Misty, and we're looking forward to it. I want to give the floor to you two ladies. I want to ask you a question to get things started, because Marin, you're down in Houston, Texas. Misty, you're across the Gulf over in just north of Tampa, Florida. And so you guys didn't know who each other were prior to working with Symmetry. You didn't even meet until you'd both been here about 5 or 6 months, but you started just weeks apart. And the two of you really identified each other as kind of running mates, as soul sisters, as you call each other. And so we want to dig in about the cross-line relationship you formed. Before we get into kind of the how and what ways you add value to each other, I want to start with you guys talking to us about kind of the timeline of when you started up to now, in regard to how did you grow that cross-line relationship being hours and hours apart.
I'll go. So when I first came on board with Ian, I didn't see really any other women on his team that was doing much production. So I was here like 2 weeks, and then I saw this girl come in, and I was like, ooh, who's this girl? She's throwing up some numbers. And she just inspired me to, like, hey, there's another girl running with me. So every time I saw her get a deal, I always root everyone on my team, but it was just, I don't know. It was like, hey, yeah, like instantly I was like, we're a team too. Like, we're the girl power on the team. So every time I saw her get, do well, I'd be like, it inspired me. I got to go after, and I got to find something else too to keep up with her.
Yeah, I would add like what Misty said. When I joined, I've seen like she joined 2 weeks before me. So I remember asking my applying Kip Kim boy saying like, hey, who's on the team that is a woman that is a fire? And he told me about Misty, and I said, all right, let me see if I can get like caught up to her, right? So at the end, she throws up a number, I will back it up. I throw up a number, she tries to back it up. And that was our friendship and our business partnership started. And then we start seeing also Aranza being the elite producer and an agency owner. So, and we talked to Trey too. He told us saying like, hey, there's not a lot of agency owners in our team. So he was like, I expect you guys to be there. And we told him, say less. We're gonna go after it. So that's how our friendship and our business partnership started.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. I will say that Ian is always really good at too about like burning that fire too. Like he would text me, hey, Marin's at this point for the month, but I know she's got a solid week lined up. You better go get her. And then Trey would be like, hey, I don't have any female leaders yet. So I wonder which one of you two will hit AO first. So they also really drove us to like, we're both very competitive people, but in a very friendly, like push each other kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely seen that friendly, that healthy, friendly, competitive nature that you both embody. Talk to us about like, so you guys were just cross-line business partners really from a distance for a while. Your first time getting a chance to actually meet in person wasn't until months in of already kind of building each other up, which was at the Pritchett Altitude event in Memphis in August. And I don't think you guys saw each other again until the Delaney SFG Free Boot Camp in Tampa in February. So you've only even seen each other, been able to hang out a couple times. Talk to us about what those events in person were able to do for each of you in terms of leveling up and growing together.
I will say this. So once we met in Memphis at the conference, I saw some of her team. She met some of my teammates, and we just introduced everybody, together, so that if they had any question, they can reach out to her. If her team had any questions, they can reach out to me. But at the end of the day, our main goal was we wanted to make sure that everybody felt like included. When you're new and coming in, and you're just like a little reserved, and so I didn't see that from her, and she didn't see that from me. So when I saw her, and I was like, all right, Misty, what do we have to do? And she was still working part-time, and I remember I was like telling her, saying like, hey, when are you going full-time? I was bugging like her, saying you have a very powerful story, you can impact a lot of lives. And I was telling her to go full-time. So that conference leveled us both. We both hit our record number after conference. So
yeah, I would agree. Like conference definitely it's a boost. It's a game changer. Like when I went to Memphis and I met Marin in person and associated with everyone, and just hearing everyone's stories, that's where I knew. When I came home, I told my husband I'm going full-time. I knew, when I went to conference, I was still on the fence whether this was going to be a side gig for me that was just going to actually still make more money than my main gig, or if I was going to go full-time. But 2 days in, I was like, yeah, I'm going full-time. There was no doubt in my mind. Like, I knew.
For sure. Yeah. I remember when you said, all right, I'm going to be going full-time after the end of this year. I was like, you're going to wait that long? And, there are some reasons for that. And now we've had so many conversations. You wish you would have gone full sooner. Then let's chat about that next time you guys got together, when we ran that event in Tampa just back in February. And so talk to us about that collaboration with one another and the decision you guys made there in person.
Tampa was a game changer for us. And the reason why is because we saw that we were at a point where we were like, okay, we got comfortable. Like at some point, and she told me saying like, hey, we gotta make sure that in 3 months, by the time we come back for the next Tampa conference, we have to get become an AO. So what we did is, even though we're apart, she's in Florida, I'm in Houston, we have almost a daily communication. So what we did is we sat down, we're like, okay, how many people do you need? How many people do I need? Her strengths, my weakness, my strengths, her weakness. We figured it out, and we made sure that we were gonna hit that agency ownership by the time we came back. And the days that I was slacking, I mean, there are days where you become a nurturer and you're saying like, hey, you know what, you got this, but there are some days that you need to hear it. And I expected that from her, and she expected that from me. So if she's slacking, I'm like, Misty, you gotta get it together. We gotta hit this. Like, you have one more writer. I don't know where you're gonna find them from anywhere, but you gotta get it. And the same thing with her. Like if I'm having like a, you know, not a great week, she was there to back me up and saying like, hey, just clear your head, you know, focus on the days, and instead of just the outcome, and the outcome will come. And so that was one of the interactions that we have. We call each other out, but at the same time, we support each other. We're very competitive, and you want to work with someone that is like that, because there is a time where you become a cheerleader, but there's a time you got to be a coach and call each other out. And that us calling each other out wasn't in a bad way. It was not in a bad intention. It was more of like, hey, you know what? I love you, but I want to see you win also. And we committed to this goal. So we got to make sure we make it happen.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously, sometimes you mentioned something there, Maren. Sometimes you need to be a mentor or a coach, and sometimes you need to be a cheerleader. And that's going back to the support challenge matrix that we have as a tool here at Symmetry and Quility. And you're able to use that cross line as well in this relationship. You're able to support each other when you need to, and challenge each other when you need to, which makes a super healthy working relationship. This is a great segue into my next question for you two ladies. Would love for you just to take a few minutes to share, how does this cross-line relationship work? What are some actual ways that you are able to add value into each other and help you both level up? If there's kind of some pointers or bullet points that you guys can pass out to the audience who may already have a cross-line relationship they're working with, and they can hone in, or maybe they don't have that person yet, and they're looking to find kind of that accountability partner. What are some ways that they can do that?
I mean, I think one thing we were pretty good about is, you know, like Maren said, you know, we sat down and we're like, hey, what do we need? Like, we knew what we needed revenue wise. That's a no brainer. But like, she had a team built. I was literally just starting to build a team. So, you know, she was able to help me with, you know, this is what you're looking for. This is how you got to recruit. You got to get people in, get them in fast, and you got to get them going, because you can't just bring them in. They got to write or they don't count. And then just constant, like, you know, we have a joke that, you know, every time it seems Maren has what she says is a rough day for Maren, she'll shoot a text and she'll be like, you know, it's just and I'm like, girl, it's not. Get out of your head. And then the girl throws up like a 10K day. And I'm like, yeah, it was a rough day, Maren. But sometimes you just got to hear it, you know. And she does it back to me too. I'll be like, man, nobody's answering the phone today. And she's like, yeah, just make a couple more dials. Like, you know, just keep going. It's just that push. And then cross-lining with our teams, you know, every time she brings on someone new, we're quick to welcome them. And she's very good about that too. You know, welcome aboard. Always just pushing everybody. It's almost like our team is one.
Yeah, I would add on that. One thing that we did was like just talking to each other's team, right? Whoever needs the support from her team, like sometimes when you hear it from someone else and not you're applying, it just clicks. I don't know, for some reason, I've seen that happen with my team, and I've seen it happen with me also. So I'll tell them saying like, hey, I think this person needs to hear it from you, and she would have a talk with them, and then they will get it. And the same with mine also. Like, she would tell me saying, hey, can you talk to this person? So just pouring into each other's team helped us a lot, and so that everyone is in the same page, and we're actually hitting our goals the same way. And when your team is on one line, actually, when they hit their goals, you would hit your goals. Both of us didn't. For me and for her, we didn't tell them saying like, hey, we're running for an AO. What we did is like, hey, what do you need to do to hit your goals? If you hit your goals, we're gonna hit our goals. So we made sure that our team came first, and when that happened, they hit their goal, we ended up hitting their goal. My team found out that when it was announced, saying like, hey, like before Tampa, like a week before, we were in a huddle, and then you said like, oh, you hit your numbers. That's when they found out that I was running for an AO, and the same with Misty. So pouring into each other's team and making sure that all of your team is in one page, and making sure that everybody feels welcome, you know. And if they want to reach out, they can reach out to any of us.
And we're not done
Love it.
there. Like, we're still running, you know, we're doing coaching now with Drew McClure to grow even more. Because we both are big believers. You got to invest in yourself. You want to invest in your company and grow. So we're just getting warmed up.
That's right. That's right. That's I can underline, emphasize, bold, italicize that statement. You guys are just getting started. Appreciate you both, and it's obvious that you have both leveled each other up. I encourage everyone to take extreme ownership. Like, utilize your mentors. Both these women have majorly utilized their mentors and the hierarchy of leaders and the support upline, but also crossline. Find that running buddy who isn't going to let you take breaks, who isn't going to let you get complacent. Rather, we should be taking breaks, but who isn't going to let us get complacent. And you can help them raise up and vice versa. So appreciate the two of you hopping on today. I'm so excited for this success that will happen in the very near future as you're both continuing to build a massive legacy for your families. And I want to pivot over to another individual here. This man has been kind of my running buddy since May of 2018. So it's going on exactly 4 years, actually. Really the epitome of someone who doesn't ever give up, or no matter how tough the going gets, keeps on going, regardless of how tough it gets, regardless of obstacles and hurdles that might be in the way. He's the #1 builder in the Graham Agency. He's an advanced market specialist for our team. Just hit agency owner back in December, about 6 months ago, and then just hit agency director this last month. True business partner who just adds so much value into me as I try to add value into him. So we'd love for you to unmute Mr. Kip Kem Boy and give a brief intro about your background and what brought you here, and then we'll get into some things too.
And again, Kip Kem Boy, Director Ian Graham, in the Alderson Cloutier, Jimmy Spildenner, Delaney Pritchett hierarchy. Grateful to be so. What this opportunity has done for me has been immense. Actually, prior to Symmetry, I was working as a small sales gig, not good at sales at all. Matter of fact, I was actually pitching internet and cable TV to somebody, and that's how I got recruited to Symmetry, which tells you about my skills on sales. I trained athletes at a performance coaching center called Exos, and looked for this opportunity really to build myself and build a business that I could have a legacy with.
Love it, man. I want to dig in. So I got a couple of questions for you. The first one being, from a mentor standpoint, because you've been working with Marion, obviously very closely as she's direct to you since she got started, and you've been able to see their relationship grow over time as they both started, her and Misty both started weeks apart. From a mentor standpoint, how have you seen, like, what have they done? How have you seen them grow so quickly by utilizing that strong cross-line partnership?
Well, that question, yeah. So, what we know is relationships can be started on GroupMe or Zoom, but relationships are also nurtured from event to event. So what Misty and Marion have done really well is that they're seeing somebody who's similar to them, and they're linking arms, they're crossing their arms together and saying, hey, how can we push each other to the next level? So a couple ways that I've seen them do that, first off, is with office spaces. Both of them have went ahead and invested in an office space. And what that allows them to do is letting the team see what you're doing. It's no longer you're teaching and you're telling people, hey, this is how you do it. You're inviting them in. So what they do is, first off, dial team. Someone wants to learn how to do the phones. Hey, come join me on dial team. I want to learn how to build. Okay, join me calling our resumes. I want to learn how to run appointments. Okay, go ahead and watch me close and work with these families. So what they're both are really good at doing is they're both lighting themselves on fire, and they're inviting people to come watch them burn. And that's the first thing that they're doing, is they're not teaching, they're allowing the system to do what it needs to do, and by showing by example. The second thing that I've seen them both do that they both mentioned is personally investing in coaching. And what we know is that sometimes in this business, people focus on things that have an immediate ROI, and they're slow or hesitant to put things in things that take time to grow. For example, we can get leads, and it's easy to get leads on a Thursday or Friday. We book appointments, And you're seeing a 5x ROI on those leads by, Wednesday, Thursday. You're getting deposits back in your account. With coaching, you pay for coaching, it takes some time to grow. You're not going to develop overnight and just become who you're going to become. So, one thing I learned is that in 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, John Maxwell, he talked about the law of the lid. And the thing is, what the law of the lid is pretty much you have a potential or you have a capacity. And if you reach that capacity, you can't grow past that until you push that further. So what both of these ladies have done is they've invested in growth and development and kept that capacity further than where they're at. And that's why they've been able to grow to agency owners just a short 12 months. The third thing I saw them do really well was, again, they're growing from event to event. And that first thing was, like they talked about, was the Pritchett Altitude Conference, which was in Memphis. And both of them, that was the first event that they actually got a chance to meet each other. But by that time, they built a relationship over the phone calls, over like GroupMe, texting. And that was the location where Maren was already building. I think Misty was still not building at that time yet. But utilizing that conversation that they had in Memphis and seeing the results, you heard that friendly collaboration that they have. Misty started to get incentivized to start looking at this from a part-time to a full-time opportunity. And from that direction, she was actually able to grow. And you see those short 3 months that she came in from January down to now, she's built an immense team. And the production and the results of that, have spoken for themselves.
That's great stuff, man. And you're able to be both a coach and cheerleader of sorts in that, providing the right amount of support and challenge to them as well. I want to ask you just personally, then you've witnessed that in your agency and with Maren crossline to Misty, but then personal crossline relationships that you have developed over your time here at Symmetry Financial. Talk to us about what some of those relationships are and how they've helped you grow in your growth journey.
Yeah, so first thing first, I always encourage everybody, if there's a contest that your agency's running, that's the one of the best ways that you can find yourself growing. One, you're gonna grow as a personal producer and as a builder, and then also you're gonna get that higher level of association, and that's what I saw personally on my end as well. Pigeon Forward, I was lucky enough to win that trip with several others, and it was hosted by Jimmy Spieldinner, which unfortunately was the last trip that he was able to host. But man, that was some of the most immense value that we got. And at the time was the first time I associated with a bunch of 120s. I saw people like Brian Delaney, Pappases, Matt Smith, a few others. And that was really the growth and the catalyst for growth that I saw. Linked arms with Preston Semler, who also within the Spieldinner organization, we both walked in as key leaders. And what that did was just create the momentum that we needed. From leaving Pigeon Forward, we started, again, cross-line collaboration, just like Misty and Maren have had. Walked into Memphis, came out of that, both of us had record months, and then both of us broke as agency owners by the end of the year. So that's the level of growth that you get when you find someone else who's doing exactly what you're doing in the business, and you want to get to the next level. Because by yourself you can go far, you go fast, but together you can go further. So that's one thing that I noticed with cross-line collaboration. Also with Luke Jackson, Vinny Adriati, seeing both of those individuals grow in their own leadership capacities. Vinny, just absolutely killed it in Tampa doing that corporate overview, and I saw how well he did that. And Luke Jackson, me and him have those conversations around building, and both of them have the same coach. And myself, I went ahead and took a look at that and said, hey, it's time for me to grow too. So I went ahead and invested in the same coach that, again, Misty and Maren have mentioned to grow myself. So that's the power of collaboration. It's the fact that you're getting the influence of conversations around people who are around the same area that you're at. And again, I encourage everybody to look for something similar.
That's so good, man. That's so good. By yourself, you can go fast. Together, you can go further. I love that line that you dropped. And man, the growth journey you have been on, I can't wait to hear your full success story from a national presence like this as you continue to grow. So people can understand what you've been through and the grit and perseverance you embody, man. So much appreciate you as a business partner and friend. And thanks for pouring in today. Want to end with this. When I started here in May of 2017, guys and gals, I had an illustrious sales career. I'm joking. For those of you who know my story, I was a former elementary school teacher for 7 years. And so I had zero sales experience, zero insurance background. But what I did have was a work ethic, being coachable, and I had a great line of mentors. And what I saw, one of my mentors, Jimmy Spieldenner, my brother Jimmy, he had developed this very strong cross-line relationship with Ayers and Sicily Newsom. He and Ayers and Sicily were both direct to Brian Delaney, and from the start they had formed this great relationship, very friendly, healthy competition, where they would talk trash and level each other up because they didn't want to lose to the other one. And they both went 120 together, the Newsoms and Spieldenner. And I saw that happen my first year here. Maybe that was right at the end of my first year here. And I'm like, man, I need to develop that as well. And so I've been able to form a great relationship with Jordan Hunt, direct to Brian Delaney, and Tim Penso, who's actually direct to Ayers and Sicily. And the three of us, we chat all the time. We give each other crap all the time. We level each other up. We share ideas. We're collaborating on what we're doing, both in business and in personal life. The three of us have helped run a couple boot camps down in Tampa for the entire agency, and it's just been able to grow because you're not alone. You're working with other people. I don't know how many calls that I've had Jordan and some of his agency owners hop on my team call, and Tim and some of his agency owners hop on my team calls, because we have this great relationship where we can all utilize each other. Tim Penso and I also do a joint Monday morning call to jumpstart our week for our agencies, where we go through leaderboards and we rotate the AOs who are delivering content. And in doing so, what we're able to create is a way to make sure we balance out. We all have different personality types, and where his strengths are some of my weaknesses, where my strengths are some of his weaknesses. And we make sure our teams get the full impact they need from a well-rounded kind of two-headed monster by accessing both personality types. With that, we've done joint dinners at different events in order to create a duplicatable cross-line collaborative environment for our people when we do go to events. I want to leave you guys with this. It's not your mentor's responsibility to create long-term success for you. I'll say it again. It's not your mentor's responsibility to create long-term success for you. It's their responsibility to create a right environment, provide a right example, and provide the tools and empower you, but it's on you to actually do it. And so you should be tapping into your mentor and learning from them and learning alongside and with them. But in addition, take extreme ownership. Take extreme ownership of your business and of your future by finding other like-minded individuals. Identify some other people who you relate with and you get along with, who are also moving with the same sense of urgency that you want to move at, and start reaching out to them and figure out, how can you guys level each other up? Start working together and collaborating. What are you doing? What am I doing? And share some of those things so that you're not alone. See, you're not defined by who you are. You're defined by who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there. And so sometimes it can be uncomfortable to reach out to someone. Sometimes it'd be uncomfortable to get outside the comfort zone of just your mentor and your little agency. So I want to encourage you, though, get outside your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. If you stay comfortable, if you choose to stay comfortable, you'll end up dying on the operating table of failure. Choose to get uncomfortable. I'll leave you all with a call to action. First, kind of two calls to action here. First, if you have someone in mind, if you've been listening to this and you're like, wow, they've gotten great results together. I want to go agency owner in a year. I want to be able to level up and use someone else's strengths where I may have some weaknesses. Shoot them a text right now. Shoot them a text and reach out and be like, hey man, I would love to connect. Or hey girl, I would love to connect. Would love to connect with you and share and see what you're doing, see what I'm doing, see if we can both grow together to develop that cross-line accountability partner. Second call to action. If you have a GroupMe or Slack or some other team form of communication, or maybe a group text thread, or however your team communicates as a group, I would love for you to post in that GroupMe or other communication platform these words: I will get uncomfortable. I will get uncomfortable. Second sentence, I will be in Denver. I will get uncomfortable. I will be in Denver. And then hit the done button on Denver. If you don't already have your ticket, that means you need to get your ticket so that you're not a liar. So I will get uncomfortable. I will be in Denver. Reach out to your mentor asking for how to get a ticket to Denver. Set yourself up for a record month coming out of that. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Brandon, Casey, Brian, the whole entire home office staff for everything you guys do for us and for allowing our agency the opportunity to pour in today to Symmetry Nation. Much appreciation. Thanks, Todd.
Man, much love. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everybody.